So King Hezekiah, just like Barnabas, saw the grace of God for people who were not his people. Actually, they were not his responsibility. As a king, you have a lot of responsibilities. Yes, you have a lot of privileges, but also you have a lot of responsibilities. And these people were not Hezekiah's responsibility, except in his heart he had this ministry of comfort that he desired, that he received from God, and therefore desired to express towards them. That meant that even though they were not his responsibility, he took them on his heart and he wanted to minister to them. So welcome to this morning jolt, this refreshing thought from the Word of God. And so he saw the grace of God for them, what God could do for the northern kingdom. And he says it clearly in 2 Chronicles 30 verse 9. For if ye turn again unto the Lord, your brethren and your children shall find compassion before them that led them captive, so that they shall come again into this land. For the Lord your God is gracious and merciful, and will not turn away his face from you, if you return unto him. So he is actually saying that the impossible will happen, that God will actually, there's a promise from the Lord, and it's in the Word of God for no, it's not for, just dramatic effect in the Word of God. It's there because God probably meant this, that he would actually return those captives, just like it happened later with Judah. But if they had turned to God as a nation, God would restore them. And what an amazing promise. How can he say that? The answer is he sees the grace of God for them, and he's expressing what God could do for them. We often do this in the work of God. We express God's heart towards someone, and we see the amazing gift that they have and the amazing ministry that they might have. And this is very powerful. So King Hezekiah is taking the time. He's making the effort. He's not sparing the energy to share it with them. He's using his people. He's sending some people north. I'm sure they could have done some other job, but they were sent north, and so they are sharing this message with them, and they're wanting to draw these people into the grace of God that God has for them. And there were some who were willing, but actually the majority, in verse 10, they laughed them to scorn and mocked them. Nevertheless, divers of Asher and Manasseh and Zebulun humbled themselves and came to Jerusalem. And this is what happens, that some people will come, and those are amazing people. Now, obviously, you cannot minister to those who just don't want to come, who don't want to receive it. Okay, so they will stay and die in their rebellion. We're not happy about it, but we cannot help anyone any more than that than to initiate to them with the grace of God. We minister to those who come and desire to walk on a different plane beyond what they can do, because that's what the grace of God is about. And we see this here, that there is an amazing fruit. Some people come, and then there's a beautiful change, because this has not happened for hundreds of years now between the two kingdoms. And then it says, here is maybe I should say it this way. Here is the question: are you willing to put in the time, the prayer, the love, the caring challenge, or will you always just see the obvious and then turn away from those who messed up their lives, who are downtrodden and probably are worthless, and probably nothing can come out, naturally nothing can come out of their lives that would be worthy of caring. They cannot be useful to you. But listen, if you see the grace of God for these people, if you know the grace, if you see the grace of God for these people, then you know that God can do amazing things in their lives. And then it's worth taking the time, putting in the prayer, not sparing the energy, and doing this, because this is the big question. Are you willing to do that, or will you just always stick with the obvious state, the obvious bad state, the obvious fault, the obvious mess, the obvious sin, and then you turn away in disgust? Or will you say, okay, with God, by His grace, there can be a ministry to these people and something amazing can happen in their lives.